Before we get started, I want to say thank you to all my fan. He's in Dubai, his name's Shabazz, and all the rest of you who wrote me. He's my only self-proclaimed fan, so thank you, Shabazz. Anyhow, I have, by popular demand, I've decided to make a DVD. It's an hour-and-a-half long. It's going to be ready June 15th, ready to ship. If you want to order it before June 15th, it's $20. After June 15th, $25. It's going to show you solid fundamental base of things in photography. We're going to talk about composition. We're going to rehash our ISO, shutter speeds, all the fundamentals. We're going to talk about technical stuff such as white balances, pixels. What are pixels? What do they do? We're going to talk about lenses, what cameras to buy. We're going to talk about everything you guys have been asking me. It's going to all be on one disc. I'm going to be releasing it month by month, chapter by chapter. So if you want to see it for free, it's going to come out month by month by month by month. It's going to take you guys a year. But if you want to shell out the 25 bills, $25 that is, US. You can get it in the mail, and I'll even put some extra cool stuff on there. I'm going to put a contract on the disc, and there's a few templates I'm going to put on there to show you guys some different things. So you'll have these different files that you can have on your computer to check out and learn a little bit more. But you'll also get the DVD, which is going to be, the menu's going to be fantastic. You can learn what you want to learn, when you want to learn it, and it's going to be hot, top-notch shit, baby. So, order it. Support me. I support you. You know what I'm saying? I just had a baby boy. Come on, let's do this thing. Yeah, but order it. You'll learn a lot, and you'll improve your future. The sky's the limit. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, baby. So let's get back to business. I'm gonna start teaching you some stuff. Thanks for hearing that out. All right, we're gonna talk about. This isn't so extremely deep, but it's going to give you a fundamental base so that but what I'm going to teach you is about white balance. So, white balance, so it all comes down to light. And what it is this. There are a few different types of light out there. There are actually many different types of light. We're going to talk about 4 different types of light. They're the most common light you're going to come across. Maybe we'll throw on a 5th one. But anyhow, the light sources are, number 1, first and foremost, the sun. So we got the sun. And then we have tungsten, and I'm not sure if you know what tungsten is or not, but it's around all over the place. Tungsten is just regular light bulbs. It's the ones that have the 2 little pins that come up in between there, the little metal, the filament in there. That's tungsten light. And then you have halogen lighting, which is the gas-filled tubes. Electricity hits the gas, lights it up, blah 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 blah. That's halogen. And then you have flash, so your camera's flash that shoots off a light. But also that 5th one that I was talking about is like, shade sun, the sun when it's in the shade, when it's, being blocked by something, and it's that reflective light that's around. Anyhow, those are the, 4 to 5 light that you're going to find most common everywhere. And the thing with these light sources that people don't realize is that they all have a different color temperature. Now, you may have heard color temperature before, and you're like, what the hell is color temperature? But, it took me a while to figure it out. I had to read books, all this stuff. Anyhow, color temperature is basically lights put out a certain hue with them. Like the sun, I believe the sun has a very blue light, and then it goes all the way to a very reddish light with tungsten. And in between, there's all these different levels. They're measured in Kelvin degrees, and basically they cast their shade onto your camera. Now with film, they used to have different temperature films that you'd use for different situations, and to make sure that your whites are whites and everything else falls in place. When your whites are whites, your blacks are blacks, your blues are blues, your reds are reds, everything falls in place when your whites are white. That's why it's called white balance, because you're balancing out that white so everything else falls into place. Now, one thing that you can do is on your camera there's all your little settings, and they're very easy. They're, a monkey can do them. There's a little sun, and so when you're in the sun, you put your white balance to sun, and it knows that that's the right Kelvin temperature, and it's gonna balance out your image sensor to get you those correct whites and correct colors all over. The little light bulb on there, it looks like a little light bulb with 3 little things over it. That's for tungsten. You have a little pole with 3 things on top, 3 things on bottom. That's for halogen. And then there's actually a little house on there with a little shade coming off the side, and that's for being in the shade. And then flash, there's actually a little flash one on there too, because flash is a different temperature. And so you put those on there, and your picture won't have those orange casts, yellow casts, blue casts. You won't have these things that really dull out your picture. You might not even see them now. When you look at your pictures, they might be fine. As you tune in your eyes, you can start to notice that, wow, like these pictures look like hell. But if you fix that, your pictures look sharp. They have depth. They're everything you thought they'd be. For some reason, like you might look at your pictures now, and for some reason it just looks a little blah, it looks a little drab. But you get that white balance right, bang, dude, out come the colors, out come the depth. It really takes your pictures to another level to be able to white balance them. So that's, you know, that's simple white balancing right there. It's you know, it's cake, man. Anyone can do it, eh? But you know, like I said, it's on your camera. You know, you have to read your manual to find out where on your camera your buttons are to do it. All cameras are different, but you'll find it. And when you do, you'll be able to white balance your pictures, and they'll come out so much better for you, and you'll see what I'm talking about the pop. So, you know, manual white balance versus auto white balance. To me, I never use auto white balance because I just don't like it. When I go and do my pictures later, like in Photoshop or something, if I make one correction, I can apply it to everything else as long as I had the same white balance on. So even if it was the wrong white balance, once I make the correction, I can apply it to everything, and everything will be right. If I go auto, different white things come into the screen, and your camera will make that, try and make that white, or like the lightest thing, it'll try and make white. So you can have something that's an off-white and it becomes white. You can have something that's pure white, it comes in and it's white. So now those pictures are both balanced differently because auto white balance automatically assumed they were both the same white. And now your pictures there could be all off, they're all different, so you have to correct each one individually. In that case, I do black and whites. But that's a little joke. It's not funny, but it's a joke. You're going to want to manually white balance your camera, if that's, picking the right white balance. I personally am not about auto white balance. I'm sure sometime you might find it. Whatever you want to do, if you decide, hey, I want auto white balance, sucker, don't tell me what to do, then, do your auto white balance all you want until your heart's content and you're super happy. But me personally, I do manual white balance. Now, there's some situations where there's different lights all affecting you at the same time. Right now, I have a light right here I believe it's a tungsten bulb, and it's shining at me, and now I'm blind. But over here, the sun is shining in. So I white balance my camera for the tungsten, so this back here has a blue cast over it, but I should be pretty good, But to me, oh well, that's something that you can do. I decided to do that. I knew that was going to be the effect that happened. But sometimes you want it to appear white. You want whites to appear white even though they're being affected by 2 or 3 different light sources. And what you can do in that case is custom white balance on your camera, which is taking it to the next level. Look in your manual to find out how to set your custom white balance. But basically what a custom white balance is, you get a white card and you take a picture of what's your white card, or it could be an 18% gray, neutral, very neutral, no color in it, whatever, however you want to say it. But you take a picture of this white card, and then in your camera you say, this is what I want to be white under these lighting situations, and you just set it, and it's a custom white balance. So if you have different color, different temperature lights coming at you, you set the auto white balance. It's the opposite of auto. It's the most magnificent one. You set your custom white balance. It looks like 2 little triangles with a little square in the middle. But you have to set it, and then once you have it set, then you apply it, and your pictures will be correct. So get these little white cards. They cost some of them cost up to $60. Some people just use a plain white piece of paper. I would suggest getting the ones that are the more expensive ones, just because they are pure perfect white. I don't have one yet. I have to go get one. I've been shooting for 10 freaking years and I still don't have one. But it happens. If you guys buy that disc, I can go buy one. I'm gonna go buy myself a white balance card with that. Okay, so in retrospect, auto white balance bad, manual white balance good, custom white balance tip top, baby. So your custom white balance, it takes a little bit extra, but it's very little bit, especially for the outcome that's going to happen. So if you're in the sun, use your sun, tungsten, but if there's mixed light, go with custom and learn it. Take 10 minutes to learn it on your camera. Do that for me, for you, for the world of photography. Photography is like anything else. You practice it, you study it, you get better at it. No shit, no bullshit, man. If you study it and you practice it, you have no choice but to get better at it. So, keep it up. I'm proud of you. So do your thing, and any comments, cool. Except like I said, don't hurt my feelings, don't say bad things about me. Please don't do it. But I'd love to hear from you guys. I appreciate it. I love it. Take care, and I wish you guys the best.